Bing, 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 and then there it is.
All right.
And I think we're good everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys,
all right.
Welcome to the WULFF Den Podcast. How you doing? It's been a day.
You've had a day?
Today, not me, but a lot happened. A lot happened today.
Yeah.
I woke up and there was a lot.
There was things left and right. Yeah.
A lot's been going down. I was a little scared, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
Anyway, what are we? I didn't even look at the document. I just knew that the top story is going to be YUZU's getting sued.
Right.
What else even is there?
Before we get into that, I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
Can you just give me my camera real quick? I'd like to address the nation.
Okay.
Okay. Just let me know when you're ready. All right, I'm on. Okay. Hello, my fellow Americans. This February, the good people at Sony have graced us with the ability to download Rollerdrome for free with your PlayStation Plus subscription. This week is the final week to claim Rollerdrome as part of your PlayStation Plus subscription. Whether you are the Essential member, meaning you're the cheap guys, whether you're the premium, or whether you're the whatever they call the top tier one, the rich people. No matter which version of PlayStation Plus you have, please make sure to download Rollerdrome, the best game of the last 5 years. A lot of people have slept on it. I will not be one of those people to let it just go away quietly into the night. It is a game that must be played, and you, as an American citizen or wherever you're from, I don't know. We have a big audience in the UK. I know that.
English-speaking countries.
All you Brits out there, we saved your ass in World War II, and now we're telling you to download Rollerdrome as part of your PlayStation Plus subscription. Also, fuck Sony for laying off all those people. Thank you.
I am going to the PlayStation Store right now because I did not download it.
I was in the office yesterday at my 9 to 5, and I made my boss download it.
Oh my god!
In front of me.
Also, I made the title wrong on Twitch. Sorry, guys. I fixed it. It's updated.
Okay.
Not that anybody cares because the notification's already borked. Anyway, yes, I'm going to the Sony website right now to download it. I need to see you download it. No, you don't. What are the chances it's going to actually download to my PlayStation? Though is the real question.
You know, I've had success with that. You want to know what I have?
It works awesome on Xbox.
You want to know what I have not had success with? Trying to do that with Steam, like hitting download on my phone and then downloading to my Steam Deck. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah. I've had that issue too. I also just noticed. I was watching what's his face, the guy who called out Linus Tech Tips.
Oh,
the long hair. Gamers Nexus,
yes.
He did a whole long video about the OLED Steam Deck, and I only got like 5 minutes into it.
Yeah,
his
videos are long.
One of the first things he says is that the OLED Steam Deck has an issue with noise on the headphone jack.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, I do have that issue. I do have noise, and I like didn't realize that it wasn't just my headphones. I wasn't being crazy. Anyway. What are we talking about today?
Okay, for realsies, what are we talking about today? We do have a pack show today. We got the Nintendo YUZU lawsuit. EmuDeck called out one of us. We won't say who. We have the Nintendo Direct news. We have the Pokémon Presents that happened today.
I've been kicked off of PlayStation Plus. I think I got the premium a whole year ago.
Yeah, and you just missed it.
I gotta be honest, I'm almost positive it got Rollerdrome somewhere else.
It's on. I know it's on Game Pass.
I'm not just saying this so that you don't reach across and murder me right now.
I know it's on Game Pass, and I know I've said you have no excuse not to play it. So
okay.
It's also on Game Pass, my fellow Americans and Brits whose ass we saved in World War II.
All right, we got EmuDeck, we got Nintendo Direct. That's so long ago.
I know. I figured we just breeze through it, and there's some things that like relate to the Nintendo Direct and other news topics.
Okay, well, we do need to talk about the Rare and
the Rare
Mother
stuff. Yes,
Xbox podcast is still crossed out.
It is.
I'm just gonna exit out.
Oh yeah, I have. Microsoft does confirm the games that they're gonna make third party.
Oh, okay, okay.
So. That's in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then okay. And then that's other stuff. We got other stuff.
Yes.
Oh, and everybody's been telling me about the 3DS Virtual Boy Emulator. I'm gonna move that up.
Yeah.
Because that's some news I would like to talk about. We'll put that all the way up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with the YUZU lawsuit.
Okay.
Now, I didn't want to read through the whole lawsuit.
Oh, you put the actual lawsuit in there.
I put the actual lawsuit in there. I don't want to read through the whole court document because we do have the whole court document. So what I did was I asked ChatGPT to summarize it. So this is what ChatGPT says. The lawsuit between Nintendo of America and Tropic Haze LLC. That's the name of the, I guess, company.
Right.
Why are they a company? That's the name of the company that
makes YUZU.
YUZU, if you don't know, is a Nintendo Switch emulator. It is the most popular Nintendo Switch emulator. It's how you could play Nintendo Switch games on other platforms that you probably shouldn't be playing Nintendo Switch games on. ChatGPT says the lawsuit between Nintendo of America and Tropic Haze LLC revolves around allegations of trademark infringement, unfair competition, and false designation of origin. Nintendo claims that Tropic Haze's sale of products such as vaping cartridges and e-liquids featuring designs similar to Nintendo's copyrighted characters such as Mario, Luigi, and Toad infringes upon Nintendo's intellectual property rights. Nintendo argues that Tropic Haze's actions create confusion among consumers and dilute the distinctiveness of Nintendo's trademarks. Obviously, that is not at all what the lawsuit's about. That's just it just completely fucked that up. I guess it saw Tropic Haze and was like, "Oh, this sounds like a vape thing."
Yeah.
So it just did that. Anyway, that's obviously not what it's about.
Right. The Verge put an article about it.
Go to the Verge article, please.
If you've ever seen a Steam Deck playing a Legend of Zelda game, chances are you were seeing the YUZU emulator at work. Now Nintendo has sued the developer of YUZU in U.S. federal court with the intent of squashing it for good. In the lawsuit spotted by Stephen Totillo, Nintendo alleges that YUZU violates the anti-circumvention and anti-trafficking provisions of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, as well as accusing the creators of copyright infringement. It alleges YUZU is primarily designed to circumvent several layers of Nintendo Switch encryption so its users can play copyrighted Nintendo games. The company is not only asking for the courts to stop YUZU in its tracks with a permanent injunction, it also wants to take away its domain names, URLs, chat rooms, and social media presence. Hand yuzu.emu.org over to Nintendo, and even seize and destroy its hard drives to wipe out the emulator. Oh, and Nintendo wants a lot of money in damages as well. Are emulators legal? Well, yes and no. While there's legal precedent that suggests it's okay to reverse engineer a console and develop an emulator that uses none of the company's source code, those cases are roughly a quarter of a century old or more. It gets trickier when we're talking about multiple layers of modern encryption and the copyrighted BIOSes that YUZU and other modern emulators require to run.
Okay, let's just talk through the rest of it because we know enough about this. It's basically Nintendo's like, hey, cut the shit. We're shutting you down. This makes sense because YUZU is a current generation emulator.
Right.
It's emulating a current generation console, which always feels weird. Last week I tweeted, hey, are there any developers out there who would actually be comfortable with me showing their game running through YUZU?
Yeah.
Because I feel obligated to try YUZU on different devices that I have. Mm-hmm. And I always just use Nintendo games because other people show themselves playing indie games like Hollow Knight and Celeste and stuff, because those run really good on YUZU through other devices. Like I'm sure they would run good on the what do you call this? Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. I'm sure a game like Hollow Knight would run good on here through the YUZU emulator. But that feels weird. It feels weird to be like, hey, instead of buying Hollow Knight, download it in YUZU and play it. That feels weird. I'm a lot more comfortable talking about that stuff when it comes to games that are not currently available.
Right.
So I asked, hey, are there any developers that are comfortable me playing their game on YUZU? Not a single developer said anything.
Yeah.
Because they're understandably not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Or even having the conversation. Even having the conversation's scary because
it opens up a huge can of worms. Like, they're gonna lose revenue with their game being on an emulator, and it's gonna, even if they were okay with it, it invokes the wrath of Nintendo, a major partner for them, who could kick them off the platform. Yeah.
So Tech Nanner in the chat says maybe homebrew people. I did also say homebrew people. I looked up YUZU homebrew and there's really nothing. There's some stuff that is like way like low powered like stuff. There's like, I think, a Game Boy Advance emulator that runs through YUZU. There's a game that looks like a shitty Space Invaders. Like it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. But anyway, we've talked about the legality of emulation in the past. There's a guy, Moon Channel, who has great videos on the legality of emulation. But what we've concluded pretty much is that the precedent that was set long ago was the Sony lawsuits, the two Sony lawsuits. There was the one on Bleem, and then there was another one.
Yeah.
And those pretty much said that the BIOS is able to be copied. That's not copyrightable.
Let me just pull up the Verge article again, because it said...
it says Nintendo doesn't allege that YUZU includes any such keys, which is the BIOS, because you do, when you set up YUZU, you have to provide your own prod keys or whatever. YUZU takes a bring your own BIOS approach, expecting users to either lift their own BIOSes off and keys off a hacked Nintendo Switch using a loophole that Nintendo eliminated in newer models, or more likely download a pirated one. So instead, Nintendo's arguing that YUZU is knowingly facilitating piracy at a console scale. So the previous precedents that were set with the PlayStation stuff seems to make people believe that emulators have legal precedent to be around. Like there's no real reason why a company would win a lawsuit like this.
Right.
But I think that over 20 years have gone by, things are a lot different now, and I think that big corporations have a lot more legal leeway.
Yeah, I think they have a lot more power to bully their way into getting things done their way.
Yeah, I think that back then, courts had a lot less tech savvy, and
they still don't, but
they have more now.
Yeah,
and they were a lot more willing to side with the smaller people, and now that's not the case. Now it's I'm terrified what this could do.
Yeah, I mean, taking down YUZU is one thing, but we've also seen Nintendo go after emulator sites. Like sites that sell not sell, but like offer the ROMs to their history of games and have those get taken down. So this could open up the door for Nintendo to go after even more emulation sites, emulation developers, even, companies like Analog and Hyperkin who make retro consoles designed to play older games. They could potentially even put them in danger, because it's another way of, it's another way of, getting their copyrighted material out there, not done by Nintendo.
Yeah, if they are able to win a case like this, it could set a precedent that emulators aren't legal, or that BIOSes even aren't legal anymore. And you could just, because Analog put out the cores for Game Boy Advance and Game Boy and stuff. They did it under a pseudonym, but it could be very easily traced back. So they could be taken down in that way. There's a lot of different ways that Nintendo could use to take down all of these other emerging technologies and all of these other software companies and stuff. One of the scariest things in this lawsuit, which is why I brought up the whole lawsuit document, is that they're arguing that YUZU made it so that people can play Tears of the Kingdom early, and that made promotion a lot harder, and made people not want to look at Twitter Stealth, our buddy Stealth, is here. They put him in the court document. And his tweet says, Tears of the Kingdom leaked, so there are new screenshots floating around. I've waited 4+ years for the game. We are so close to release. I'm trying so hard not to see anything. It's a shame this regularly happens for big games. And then here's more tweets that they put in the court document. So and then there's Discord stuff. I looked at that and I was like, oh no, I gotta make sure nobody I know is in this court document. But they're not above going after creators either. They went after Point Crow last year, and that's not gonna. I mean, those are just DMCA's. They're not gonna. But they do threaten legal action. They could do a lot, and it's scary. This worries me for more than one reason. The biggest one is that I talk about emulators on the channel, and they could absolutely go after me. But what I'm worried most about is that Nintendo could, take this down. They could win this, and then nothing's stopping them from reaching further. I'm worried about the mod scene. I'm worried about the preservation scene for older stuff that isn't currently available, or isn't easily available for people to play. I'm worried about all of that stuff because it's you're gonna give them too much power, and we're gonna have less tools at our disposal to enjoy the stuff that we have.
And it opens the door for other companies to do it as well. It allows Sony to go out and do it. It allows Microsoft to go out and do it. We've already seen Capcom has already come out and said they are very anti-mod already. So if this lawsuit goes Nintendo's way, that could lead Capcom to come out and use the legal force to shut down mods of their games.
I think that the mod scene and in some way emulation, but more so the mod scene needs to have some sort of right to repair tie-in. And it's not like right to repair is doing good either.
It is and it isn't. It's winning small cases here and there, but a lot of the bills that are passed are kind of useless in a way.
They're kind of letting the big companies are kind of just letting people have small wins, you know, but there's no legal ground. There's no legal precedent. And without that, the big companies are always going to be able to bully the small people who don't have the money to fight back. So that's why I'm terrified about the mod scene. The emulation community I'm already scared for. That's kind of we're kind of screwed there. I mean, it makes sense for something like YUZU because it's a current generation console that they're emulating. But they could reach further and go for 3DS and DS and then reach even further back. So that is scary. I like having something on my computer that allows me to fuck around with old games that I own in a way that I couldn't before. I own it, so I should be able to mess around with it.
Even games that you don't own that are no longer in circulation anymore. And there are a lot of games like that. There are a lot of games that you just cannot get. Period. The old example used to be GoldenEye, but now I can think of Eternal Darkness on the GameCube. That was a highly regarded game back in the day, and you can't get it and play it anywhere right now. It was a Nintendo first party game. It was their first M-rated game, and if you want to play it, you have to track down a GameCube copy that sells for hundreds of dollars.
I think that archive.org needs to be protected in some way because with that there needs to be protections put in place in some way. And I'm completely at a loss on how to do that because our system is so complicated. Also cited in the court documents is the YUZU Patreon, which is, I think, pretty damning. Earlier in the podcast, we said that's crazy that YUZU is incorporated. That's kind of, seems like you're trying to make a profit. And if they have and a lot of emulators have a Patreon, and I understand they need to work on the emulator, but you cannot profit off of it because you're damning yourself. You're putting you're putting yourself in the front end of piracy. It's the same thing that got Point Crow. He got The reason his thing had no grounds was because he paid somebody to make the mods, and that means somebody profited off of the mods. So this is why YUZU is getting sued now, because if they didn't have a Patreon, it might have been harder for Nintendo to do this.
Yeah.
But having proof that you make money off of it is not a good look. So if you're gonna be working on an emulator in the future, you better do it out of the kindness of your heart, not for profit. So this is bad news for YUZU, which was the most popular Nintendo Switch emulator and probably the best one to use on all platforms. But there's still Ryujinx. I don't know how well that's been going. I haven't really touched it in a while. Skyline got a cease and desist, which is on Android, and they got so scared they just dropped completely.
Yeah.
So the next one's Ryujinx, and I'd like to hear what they think. Anyway, I'm gonna read notifications because I forgot to do it at the top of the show. Funyuns are tasty. Thanks for the 12 months. I had a great gym trip today. 838 pounds at the leg press for 7. You're 838 pounds? No wonder you like Funyuns so much.
Yeah.
Lay off the Funyuns. Real House, thanks for the 31 months. 31 months, that's a lot of Dunkachinos. DJ Skeletor, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. Dano Mac, thanks for the 14 months. Happy anniversary to us, Bob. Happy anniversary. N64 Boss, thanks for gifting a sub. 13X Gaming, thanks for the sub. And Mackenzie, thanks for the 20 months. Sir Graphic Tufter says the lawsuit seems to be partially about illegally obtained cryptographic keys. Yeah, those are the prod keys that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I think it's well known and easily argued that most of the people who are using those are not obtaining them through legitimate means. Because it's just so much harder to get them legitimately.
Yeah.
Also, they're arguing that the big argument here is that YUZU allows people to play a stolen game.
Yeah.
And they have like examples of recent releases and examples of YUZU updating their software to play the recent releases, some of which aren't even available yet.
Right.
And that's pretty damning because it means that they obtained it illegally and then edited their software to run it better. Just got here. Not sure you mentioned that YUZU Patreon brings in nearly $30,000 a month.
I mean, that'll do it.
No,
that's the big thing. Like, anytime revenue is happening, like that's gonna set off Nintendo's lawyers.
Yeah,
and when you're getting that much money a month,
well, at least they can afford lawyers.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they can. Maybe they've been smart. Maybe
that's what the Patreon is for.
Yeah, maybe
it's just for like a war chest in case this happens.
Honestly, that would be the best case scenario because my big fear is that there's nobody who could fight against the likes of Nintendo,
right?
In favor of right to repair and the right to modify stuff. And the best case scenario is that they've been banking all of this money and then they're gonna use it for legal fees.
Yeah,
but that I'll believe that when I see it. I don't think that there's any possibility that they were that they were thinking that hard about it. Wood says 30,000. Who wants to make an emulator with me? Oh God. Anyway, I guess that's all we need to talk about with the YUZU lawsuit. There's a very long court document. I guess 41 pages, but still 41 pages is
a
lot for legal speak. But they show Discord messages and stuff. I linked it in the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
I'll link it again and I'll put it in the YouTube chat too. It's just good to skim through to look at all. Oh, I can't link it in the YouTube chat. Sorry. It's good to skim through so you can see all the cute little pictures in the Discord messages and stuff. But yeah, I'm scared. Do any legal experts in the chat want to or politicians in the chat that want to Tell us what we can do for the right to repair.
Yeah. Let us know.
I'd love to know. Is Bob in the document? No. Well, I hope not. I only looked at the pictures. I think you shared the link with the GPT and not the document itself.
You shared the link to the GPT, the chat GPT. To the chat GPT.
I just shared the link. Okay. I shared the link.
You shared something.
You people are dumb.
Yeah.
Use a page where I got the number for those interested in this courses. Oh yeah, it's literally their page. Yeah, and like they're I don't know. There's like a lot of emulators do this. They have Patreons, and sometimes they have features that they release early, and you have to subscribe to the Patreon in order to use it. And I'm scared for those people. Notable retro gamer Bob. You guys are scaring me. All right. I guess we can move on to speaking of Patreon. You know EmuDeck.
Yes.
You use EmuDeck now.
I do. Because I'm a PC gamer.
Yeah. Well, I made a video on EmuDeck last week because they released a version for Android.
Yes.
Like a hair that's like, oh, you ever get a hair that's like poking you in the eye?
Oh yeah, it's the worst. The worst is when you get the eyelash in your eye.
Oh, God.
Because, you know, if people know me, know I have this really weird phobia about touching my eyeball. So every time that happens, I'm like in my own personal Saw movie. I can hear Jigsaw going, "Hello, William. I would like to play a game. You must remove the eyelash from your eyeball, or you'll never see your children again."
So, EmuDeck released on Android last week, and I made a video about it, and it was pretty rough. It was a rough alpha. I had to pay $3.50 in order to download it.
Oh, that's why you were salty.
But no, it's fine. It was fun. I don't know how damning it is for these people to take $3.50 because they're just collecting the emulators, which are mostly available on the Google Play Store. Right? Yeah. But anyway, EmuDeck made an Android version. I made a video on it. What, like 3 days after I made the video on it, EmuDeck released this on their Patreon. They said, EmuDeck Android update, Bob edition. Edit, the release is public now. Okay, so I guess you can get it without going to their whatchamacallit.
It says it's on
GitHub.
GitHub.
You ever heard of GitHub?
Yes, I'm aware of the GitHub.
So, they basically fixed all of the stuff that I talked about in my video. Here's some fixes. Removed our RetroArch cores download, which I had a problem with in my video. This speeds up installation. We now indicate which cores are essential and steer the user to use the better RetroArch core downloader, which is a suggestion I had in the video.
Right.
Switched to Pegasus stable. This fixes Pegasus not installing. Yeah, my Pegasus didn't install. I didn't know this would be the fix. That's great that they did that. Aether, which is the PS2 emulator, was replaced with Nether SX2, which I heard somewhere is better. I heard, I was looking stuff up about this, and I heard that is probably the way to go in the future, because Aether they stopped working on. Added default themes. Oh, I actually didn't read this last time. They added all of the ones that I used. ES Simple, Colorful. They also added Retro Mega Next and Epic Noir. I used some other ones that I don't think they added. Fixed issues launching DS and N64 games. I did have an issue launching both of those.
Yeah.
So there you go. Streamlined installation process. That's fine. Known bugs and stuff missing, but coming in the future. Options to install YUZU. Oh boy.
Good luck.
The early access one, which is something that I said, because the regular YUZU wasn't working for me, and then the early access one was working. So they added an option, and I said it'd be cool if there was like a checkbox that like lets you. Yeah. So I guess they did that. Install additional emulators. Okay. Bezel and aspect ratio selectors. Oh, this is coming in the future.
Yeah.
Bezel and aspect ratio selectors. So that's something. You know how when you get EmuDeck, it asks. Well, I actually did it for you. You didn't do it. It asks if you want to have the bezels on the sides if a game's 4x3. I always select no, but it gave me them anyway. Missing logos artwork in the bundled theme. Okay, that's good. Pegasus artwork parser, distant future. That's good. I know that would be really hard to do, but yeah, I don't have it doesn't give you any artwork for any of the stuff, so it kind of looks a little ugly. Some emulators are not front-end friendly, so you might need to launch the game twice. Yeah, that was an issue that I had in my video. I didn't know that would be a hard thing to do. Using other launches besides Pegasus. So Pegasus is like the emulation station. It's the front end that they use. Yeah. And I said that in the future, they're probably going to use Emulation Station because Emulation Station, that's what you use on the Steam Deck, is Emulation Station. Emulation Station just launched on Android, but they charge $5 through their Patreon to use it. Emulation Station just launched on Android, so I figured EmuDeck was just going to start using them. And they said they can't use them because it's paid. So that makes sense. They also said that Daiji Show, which is another front end, doesn't allow them to edit the installation. So Pegasus is the easiest for them to write a script for and have it all install for you. So that's great. They basically all of the problems that I had were solved, or they had a good excuse for it. Right. So that's great news. Now I think they said it's publicly available. So does that mean you don't have to pay for it anymore? I
guess.
I need to.
What is it? Edit. The release is public now. The GitHub issue seems to have fixed by itself.
Oh, actually, you can just go to EmuDeck website.
Yeah.
Nah, it still says early.
Okay.
I guess they just mean the code is public, so people can mess with it on GitHub. And they can, like, you know, edit it themselves and give what do you call it? They could, like, they call it something over there on GitHub. Pull request.
Okay.
It's called a pull request. Anyway. So yeah, that was cool. That was a cool little thing that happened last week. Good job, guys. Now I haven't actually tried it myself. I'm gonna try it sometime this week when I'm not so busy, and I'll make like a YouTube short about all the changes that they did and see how much more I like it. I already liked it. I already liked EmuDeck on Android. I thought it was great. But
now they tailor-made it for you.
Now they have a Bob edition. Yes. So that's pretty damn
I like somebody actually asked them in the comments and the EmuDeck if this was done for you, and they said yes. Lol.
Jesus Christ. Anthony Corvini says, chat, what is a good website for ROMs? Don't tell him!
Don't. See, this is the problem. This is how people get caught. Go to your typical search engine, be it DuckDuckGo, Alta Vista, whatever you use. Ask Jeeves. Type in what you're looking for, and just start searching. That's the best.
It's on you.
Yes.
To go to navigate all those download
That's the
links.
Best way we can describe how to look for what you're looking for.
This week's video has a Surfshark ad in it, and it literally is that. It's literally me yelling at Zim, telling him to just use Google to find the wrong things. Anyway, Reddit has a ROMs subreddit. There's a mega thread. That's as much as I can give. Okay. Anyway, moving on to all the other. Let's talk about the 3DS Virtual Boy Emulator. Everybody's been fucking telling. Even Jake texted me today. I forgot to answer him back. He's like, "Have you seen this?"
Oh, I guess you got to do it now.
I guess I got to do it.
The Nintendo Virtual Boy was released in 1995 after several years of development, but was quickly met with harsh criticism. Even so, some retro fans are keen to experience the Virtual Boy, whether out of idle curiosity, a general love of VR or retro gaming, or interest in some of unique games released on it. Now, thanks to a modern developer, Sky Flugel, Owners of the Nintendo 3DS will finally have that chance. When it was released, the Virtual Boy was not warmly welcomed, with many players reportedly reporting issues with the monochrome red and black display or discomfort using it for long periods. VR technology was in its infancy in 1995, as were many of you, and the Virtual Boy was kicked out the door too early to make room for the development of the Nintendo 64. Even so, some will defend the Virtual Boy as not being as bad as its reputation would suggest, and would like others to try it for themselves instead of believing hearsay on the internet. Despite all the derision thrown at it, and Nintendo apparently being determined to confine the Virtual Boy to a memory hole, there are some games on the console which retro enthusiasts would recommend. Whether it was the unique quality of such titles like Panic Bomber or Mario Tennis, or historical curiosities like Jack Bros from Atlas, up until now it's been very difficult to get a sense of how the sense of depth would work in these games without having access to a rare and expensive original hardware. Thanks to Sky Flugel releasing the files on GitHub, there it is again, 3DS owners can utilize the upper 3D section of the screen to get a feel of how these games might have looked and played originally, and maybe find some hidden gems in the process.
So many people were telling me about this. Now, I played a Virtual Boy maybe once or twice in the 90s.
Yeah.
Sam had one.
Did he?
My old roommate.
Because I remember playing it at a Toys R Us demo kiosk. That was it.
I don't remember that. He had one. I remember.
Okay.
I think I played tennis.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
It
then.
wasn't great.
Why are people so excited about this? I think people are excited about it because there's a 3D element to the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
that's been lost through emulation.
I remember when the 3DS came out, people were legitimately asking, are we going to get Virtual Boy virtual console games? Because it made sense, and Reggie at the time was like, oh, we'll see what happens. Obviously now they're not going to do it. But yeah, it's one of those, because the games on the Virtual Boy weren't necessarily bad games. They were just on a bad system.
There's a Star Fox looking one that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I forgot the name of that one. There's Telro Boxer, which is a first person punching game.
Okay.
Where you're a robot. It's like Punch Out, but from first person.
Okay.
There's Mario Tennis. There's Wario Land on there. There's a lot of decent games on there. It's just the fact that you had to play it in red and black, with the thing strapped to your head was the issue.
Right.
So this gives people another way to experience those games in a less headache-inducing way.
Yeah, I think it'd be more interesting if we got a Virtual Boy emulator on the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah,
that would be funny.
Yeah, that won't happen, but we'll. I mean, the Oculus.
I actually no. The Oculus just got 3DS a month ago or so.
Yeah.
The Apple Vision Pro just got Game Boy Advance.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I am not keeping up with that.
A little bit of an aside, but remember we had a whole fight on this podcast about how the 3DS does not have a Game Boy Advance inside of it.
Yes.
Remember we had a little bit of back and forth about that.
Yeah.
Not us personally, but I was fighting with comments and stuff.
Because there's a lot of confusion over why we never got Game Boy Advance games on the 3DS outside of the Ambassador program.
Yeah.
And to this day, it's still not clear to me what the issue was.
I watched a YouTube video talking about how the Virtual Console games ran Game Boy Advance natively on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And they said that multiple times throughout the video, and I think that was the title of the video. And I had nom flashbacks. I went right back. I got right back in. I was like, am I crazy?
Right.
Because it's not really native.
Yeah.
And none of the comments were saying anything about it. And I had to go through all the research again. Now I have a pinned note in my Google Keep of all of the stuff talking about how it's a fucking completely different processor than the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
There is not a Game Boy Advance processor in there. It's a similar processor, but it's not the same thing.
You okay?
I'm going to a therapist.
Okay.
And then we had, I think the argument there is emulation versus simulation, which we came to a conclusion of. But still, it's like basically the same thing.
Right.
But I would argue, no matter what, it's not fucking natively running on that thing. It's running through a Game Boy Advance emulator that Nintendo made. Correct. The 3DS goes into like Game Boy Advance mode.
Yeah.
And like transforms itself into a Game Boy Advance. Mm-hmm. So, for people who are new to this, the DS has an ARM7 and an ARM9 processor in it.
Yeah.
ARM7's for Game Boy Advance, ARM9's for DS. 3DS has an ARM9 and an ARM11 DS 3DS.
Yeah.
No Game Boy Advance in it.
Mm-hmm.
One of those processors turns into a Game Boy Advance.
Right.
Oh, God. Just fucking kill me. Sure, let's talk about this Nintendo Direct.
Okay. Let's do that.
Before we do that, though, thank you, Murr, for the 5 months. Love the podcast, guys. Keep it up. And also 13X Gaming. I don't know if I said thank you.
Tsukasa wants to know when your video on the Apple Vision Pro is.
Never. I'm not spending $3,500 just to make a video. That isn't going to do good.
Okay. The Nintendo Direct from February of this year. A lot of games shown. Did you like any of them?
Did I watch this?
I know I did.
I don't remember it.
I kind of like glazed over it because like they got the big one out of the way right at the beginning when they announced Grounded.
I was half paying attention. Yeah. I watched it, but I was half paying attention. Right. I was scrolling forward to see what they were like, if they were going to announce anything that would be of interest to me, and the answer is no. I don't think there's a single thing in here that got me excited.
I mean, there are some cool things in here that are like I'm excited, like I think are cool to see. There's like one or two things that I'm actually excited for, but overall it was like okay.
Did we not? We talked about South Park Snow Day. I remember.
Yes,
was that because we were talking about upcoming games?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what are the standouts here?
Well, the big ones was they announced Grounded and Pentiment, two of the Microsoft games.
Oh yeah.
Two of the Xbox games coming to Switch. They announced that in the Direct.
The thing that surprised us was that there was no Hi-Fi Rush.
Yes.
We were expecting those games. But I wasn't really expecting Grounded, honestly.
Yeah.
For Switch specifically. But I was expecting Hi-Fi Rush.
I believe rumor is they're waiting for the next gen Switch.
Yeah, when I tweeted that I was surprised that Hi-Fi Rush wasn't on here, and a lot of tweets were like, that's because it can't run on a Switch. And that seems insane to me.
I mean,
it's not that crazy of a game.
I'm just gonna jump to so because of this Nintendo Direct, Microsoft confirmed the 4 games that are going multi-platform. We already knew what they were because it leaked out. The games are Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, and Sea of Thieves. Mm-hmm. Pentiment is out now, February 22nd on PS4, PS5, and Switch. Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PS5 March 19th for PS5. You can pre-order it on February 22nd. Grounded is coming to PS4, PS5, and Switch on April 16th. And Sea of Thieves is coming to PS5 April 30th. So only Grounded and Pentiment are coming to Switch.
Sea of Thieves, I would think, would work too. Like, they would have to do a decent amount of work to it.
Yeah.
But I think that they could get that going. Hi-Fi Rush,
I feel like Hi-Fi Rush is more complex than people think.
There's a point early in the game where you see like this like crazy world with all the shit going on, and like that would be really hard to do on the Switch.
Yeah.
People were pointing at the fact that the game runs at 60 and it needs to run at 60 in order to have the consistent rhythm.
Yeah.
Because
that was probably a big concern. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see some Hi-Fi Rush specs because like these are all games that work on PC and they all work on pretty low power PCs.
Right.
So it would be pretty surprising to me if they couldn't get Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch and they could get Grounded. Sir Grafter, whatever, says Hi-Fi Rush runs great on Steam Deck, or runs on Steam Deck just fine. Can't imagine it wouldn't run on Switch. Maybe very low res.
I mean, Steam Deck is more powerful than a Switch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it would be easier to get it to run on a Steam Deck than it would be on a Switch. But still, I mean, I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I get maybe they are waiting for the next Switch. It's still surprising to me that game is. Because that seems like the perfect. Also, there was the leak where he had the shirt that was very clearly for the Nintendo Switch. So maybe they are waiting for the next Switch, but we're gonna have to wait a little longer for that. We talked about how that was delayed already, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah. So there's that.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Oh, are we gonna go back to the rest of this
we'll
fucking
go back
thing?
to the rest of the fucking thing. We're getting a new Super Monkey Ball game in June. Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble.
I like Super Monkey Ball. I don't know if I like it enough to play a whole.
Apparently, it's the
game.
first new game in 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Surprising.
What could they do to Super Monkey Ball that would make me want to buy a new game? I feel like you play one Super Monkey Ball, you've played them all.
Well, this one is going to have like a battle royale mode, like 16 players like at once.
Okay, and you're all versing each other?
Yeah.
Okay, that might get me to play Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah. Next up, Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, aka Star Wars Battlefront The Good Versions.
The good ones?
Yeah. This is a packaging of the original Star Wars Battlefront games from the 2000s for original Xbox and PlayStation 2. It's going to have new content, including maps and characters such as Kit Fisto, who was not playable in the original games, and Jabba's Palace is going to be one of the new maps.
I vaguely remember Kit Fisto being it. Was he not in it?
I don't think he was playable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. Next up, I guess we can do the Switch Online stuff, because we didn't do it at the top of the show because it's part of the Nintendo Direct, baby.
This is the most interesting stuff that they had.
5 classic rare games that were released on Nintendo platforms are coming to Switch Online. Killer Instinct for the SNES, Battletoads and Battle Maniacs for the SNES, RC Pro-Am for the NES, and Snake Rattle and Roll for the NES are part of Switch Online. If you have the expansion pack,
if you specifically have the expansion pass,
then you're special. But if you have the expansion pack, you get Blast Core for the N64.
So my friends were all really into Blast Corpse.
Yeah.
I'll pronounce it like they pronounced it.
Okay.
These same friends also called the car in Halo the Warthog.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I thought it was called the Warthog because I never played Halo before. I just listened to them. And then when Halo, I finally played like ODST.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So these are not like the big rare games that you think of when you think of rare Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Like you think Banjo-Kazooie, you think GoldenEye, Perfect Dark.
But I'm still going to play Blast Core. I want to play Blast Core.
Yeah, that's their first
My friends
N64
always
game. Yeah.
talked about it, and I never played it. So I have Nintendo Switch Online, so I'm going to jump
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's fun.
I've heard great things. I don't really... Killer Instinct, people love Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
I don't really have an interest in playing Killer
I
Instinct.
know like history with Killer Instinct. Next up, Epic Mickey Rebrushed is a remake of the 2010 Wii exclusive. This is also going multi-platform, so also on Xbox and PlayStation and whatnot. I was thinking the other day with like Steamboat Willie going public domain, I was thinking to myself, Epic Mickey's dead. Like they had the 2 games and that's it. And now apparently it's coming back.
That was, I think, people went the most crazy for this announcement because Epic Mickey, people loved it and then it died. Like, no, they didn't do much with it afterward. Because I think make 2 games?
2 games, yeah. Technically 3 if you count like the DS spin-off game. But it was an interesting concept. It had a great, mechanic to it. It had a really good visual aesthetic to it. It was developed by Warren Spector, one of the best PC game designers of all time. Deus Ex, Thief, System Shock 1.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it had a good pedigree to it. But this came out around the time when, like, you know, Disney was getting serious about, like, making games themselves. And then they had a couple of flops. And then Bob Iger's like, we're going to shut down video games because we don't know how to make video games. Cut to 2014. Hey, let's invest a lot of money in Fortnite because the kids be playing Fortnite.
Yeah, so this is worth playing if you're interested in Disney. Because,
yeah, I'm curious how they're going to do it. Because Epic Mickey 1 was a Wii exclusive, and it relied solely on, like, the Wiimote movement, especially for the paintbrush. So I'm curious to see how they translate that to traditional control setup.
They will probably make you use the Joy-Con. I don't know how it'll work in portable mode.
Well, because it's also coming to Xbox and PS5.
Oh.
So they're going to have to figure out a way to
yeah, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah. Next up, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is a revamped version of the 2021 Switch exclusive. So, same game, but different.
Okay.
This was their one more thing. Endless Ocean Luminous is coming to Switch in May. Another game franchise that appeared on the Wii made an appearance today. Endless Ocean Luminous is a scuba diving adventure game and the second sequel to Endless Ocean after 2010's Endless Ocean 2. Players will venture across the Veiled Sea region to discover all the marine life inhabited in the area. According to the store listing, Luminous has over 500 species of marine life to discover.
I think Endless Ocean is getting some shit for making this like a multiplayer game. Am I making that up that it's multiplayer?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't know if the other games are multiplayer, but I do know that they were popular because it was just like you alone in the ocean to just discover everything by yourself.
But I think it's cool to be able to explore with it. I think this is the natural progression of a game
something like that lends itself to like online play with like you and a bunch of buddies like discovering
This doesn't specifically say that it's multiplayer, but I'm pretty sure I saw that it was multiplayer.
This one's gonna be multiplayer. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. We talked about South Park Snow Day.
Yes. Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist is a sequel to the 2021 game Ender Lilies. Okay. This is in a different. I had a breakout article for this, but I guess we'll talk about it now. Mother 3 is coming to Switch Online in Japan.
Yeah. Wow. This is quite the missed opportunity for them. I'm sure people went nuts in Japan.
Yeah.
This is all anybody wants. Every Nintendo fan just wants a localization of Mother 3.
Yeah.
And it's
even us, and we don't have any like connection to Earthbound at all.
It would be pretty easy for them to do it also. Because all of the tools are available to them. The people did the fan dubbings and they're willing to give Nintendo the fan dubbings.
Yeah.
And all they probably would want to go through it and tweak some stuff, but it would cost nothing for them. Yeah. It's fucking Nintendo. They have the tools to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have an English translation themselves already.
Yeah, they localized that shitty Fire Emblem NES game.
Yeah.
What's stopping them from doing the one that people actually want?
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. But good news for you, you can just download the game with Japanese Nintendo Switch account.
You won't be able to understand it.
It's a great time to learn Japanese, guys. Or download the localized version off of the internet. It exists if you Google around enough. Yeah. Show them that this is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange. Very strange. I mean, hopefully it comes to America soon.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch is near the end of its life cycle. I mean, as long as things transfer over to the next
system. They keep pushing it back. They keep pushing back the end of its life cycle.
But yeah, I think if anything, this should be making very clear that people want Mother 3 over here. Maybe the problem is they don't know what to call it here. Like, what do you call, like?
You have to call it Earthbound 2.
Right, but Mother 1 is called Earthbound Beginning, and then Mother 2 is Earthbound.
Oh, so this is Earthbound 3.
You just call it Earthbound 3?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, they could do what they did with the fucking stupid Game Boy Advance games and say Earthbound 2 : Mother 3.
That works. But not only that, they're getting merch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we might as well stick with the Mother topic.
Sure.
Yeah. Mother 3 merch. There you go. Plushies that you can't have because it's for Japan only.
Wait, that's cool though.
I know.
Those are cool.
I know. It's bizarre to me that they're doing a big Mother 3 push right now with all this stuff. And it's not like it was back when this game came out. Like the internet is much more prevalent now. People are very aware of this game. Like,
yeah.
So why are they announcing it, not thinking people are going to want it in America and other countries?
They have to know. They have to know that we're all interested in this.
Yeah.
I don't even like JRPGs, and I would be interested if they localized it, just because of how big of a deal it is.
All right. Next, Monster Hunter Stories is getting remastered for modern platforms. This was the 3DS game, and then now it's coming to Switch in addition to PC and PS4. Players will become monster riders as they hatch, raise, befriend, and battle monsters from the series. So this is basically their Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah. Gundam Breaker 4 announced sometime this year.
We're still doing the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah.
I thought that was
no,
the
that's
end.
it. That was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay. So
Hooray.
not a single thing excited me. Except Mother 3 going to Japan, which wasn't even in it.
Doesn't help you.
And that's it. I mean, Blast Corps.
Yeah.
Yay.
The rare games are cool. Star Wars Battlefront is cool.
This was a partner direct.
Yeah.
I always think whenever they do a partner direct, it's because they had some big first parties, or at least one big first party they wanted to have in a Nintendo Direct. And then they decided they're not ready and they want to push it back, but they still have obligations to the third parties. So they just do a partner direct.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, Battlefront collection is cool. The rare games coming are cool. The Microsoft games coming are cool. Epic Mickey coming back is cool. But none of these are like, stop what you're doing and pre-order the game. Cool.
Right. The Nintendo Direct was 23 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's like a decent amount of time for a Nintendo Direct. All right. We got notifications from Wolf Alorian. Thank you for the raid. Dark Type, thanks for the 100 bits. Have you guys played Penny's Big Breakaway? I have not. Obviously made by the Sonic Mania team, but it gives off major Mania vibes, and I am having a blast playing it. I gotta play that. There was another.
Rollin' whatever.
No, I do want to play.
There's a demo for that on Steam.
The Pepper Grinder.
Yeah,
got to play Pepper Grinder. And there's one more thing. Oh, there's a game that's coming out that I have on my Steam Deck. Comes out in March. And it is people are saying it's like Mega Man and Sonic, but really it's like
something Breaker, right?
Yes. Really it's like the Japanese only Sega Genesis game where you go like that.
Oh yeah, where you go like that.
Where you go like that. You know what I'm talking about? You go like that.
No, I don't. I think I know which one you're talking about. Of course, I don't remember what it is.
The fuck is the name of the game? Berserk Boy. Thank you.
That's it. Berserk Boy.
Thank you. Now, what's this Japanese only Genesis game that basically go like that?
It's not Pulse Man.
Yes,
it?
Pulse Man.
Oh, it is Pulse Man.
This game is basically Pulse Man. Okay.
All right.
Anyway. Moving on. It's time for this.
Backlog.
Backlog.
Okay.
You have an article for this.
I do?
Oh, maybe it was a mistake.
Oh, yeah, that's a mistake on your part.
Okay.
All right.
How many games we got?
900.
900?
900.
Okay.
Yes. Right. If you don't know the premise, for the past 40 years because we're old. Every game we've ever bought, we put into an Excel spreadsheet. And today we're going to pick one of those games at random and talk about it, regardless of whether or not we've played it.
221.
221.
I still haven't added my games to this. I got to do that. Let me make a note to myself.
The Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge for the NES.
Oh, this is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
We talked about Super Mario Brothers before on the backlog, but it was the Arcade Archives version of the Versus arcade cabinet.
Yes.
Which was a horrible, horrible port.
Correct.
And I do like the arcade version. But the NES version of the original Super Mario Bros. Is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
And we had the combination Duck Hunt cartridge, which I think is common.
This might be the first game we've ever owned.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
This is the beginning.
It's hard to say because we had that, but we also had a Game Boy.
Yes.
And I don't know which came. You came first.
I came first,
so
but I think it's like I don't remember when we got the NES. I just remember it being there, and I know that Mario Brothers Duck Hunt was bundled with it, but I only know that after the fact. So by default, I am going to declare that Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt is the first game we ever owned.
I'm willing to concede that. Yes. It is my favorite game of all time because I played it so much, and I always go back to it.
It's just, I mean, Super Mario Brothers is just like, it's the classic game. It is so simple and yet so complex. It's easy, but also challenging at the same time. I guess because we've been playing it for so long, it's relaxing to play. Like,
it's
just
very
2D
mindless.
Mario games in general are just, to me, relaxing to play. Like, I just sit back and just go and experience the game, let the game consume me.
It's also a revolution in game design.
Oh, absolutely.
Back then, games were not great.
No.
This came out in 1985.
Yes.
And at the time, there was nothing good.
No. This changed the way, because it was an actual side scroller. There weren't many games that did that. The game had a character. There were video game characters, but nothing on the level of like who Mario was.
Yeah.
It had a story to it, which was very basic, but the fact that it gave you more context than stop the alien or stop the animal or do this, you know?
Yeah, and just the way it teaches the player how to play the game without shoving it down your throat. I mean, you only get 2 buttons because it's an NES controller, but still, you press the buttons and you quickly learn what each button does. You quickly learn what's bad to touch and what's good to touch, and you just go to the right, and that's the goal of every level is just go to the right.
Yeah.
And you learn that, and each level gives you something wacky and different and new to overcome.
Right.
There's this level 1-3, which is the little treetops that you see like the pits in the ground. You go, whoa, this is gonna be really hard all of a sudden, but then it makes you feel really cool when you finally get past it. We played this a whole lot growing up, and then we continued to play it as adults too. There was just so much in this one game to discover and so many different ways to play it. This is also one of the most prominent speedrunning games.
Absolutely.
And because you can beat it really quick. If you are good enough at the game, you could easily beat it in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right now, the world record is a low 4 minutes, I think. Is it low 4? It's somewhere in the 4 minutes. But they are still always finding new ways to get it faster and faster, and it's incredible to see every time.
It's the game that just keeps on giving, because like you can literally play it forever. It never gets old, it never gets boring. It looks dated and it sounds dated, but it never feels dated.
The physics are so good. Mario has done a lot. It's changed a lot over the years, and the physics have changed. going from something like Mario Wonder and then going, or even Mario Maker, because Mario Maker uses the New Super Mario Bros. Physics engine.
Yeah.
If you play Mario Maker or New Super Mario Bros. Or even Mario Wonder, and then you go back to the original NES Mario, things will feel a little weird. He will feel like he's on ice skates a little bit because he slides a lot. The jump might feel less responsive. If you play it on a CRT TV, if you play it on an actual NES with a CRT TV, it might feel way more responsive. Just because of how fast CRTs are.
Yeah.
But again, this is the second best game on the Nintendo Switch after. I'm sorry. This is the second best game on the NES after Mario 3.
Right.
And it is one of the best Mario games and my favorite game of all time.
I would be remiss, however, if we didn't also include the second game in this
I was about to say, there's a whole other game in this package.
It's Duck Hunt, baby.
We did play Duck Hunt.
Yes. I mean, because when we got tired of Mario, there's a whole other game there. There was Duck Hunt.
So we grew up with the NES. Then we got a Genesis somewhere along the way. I don't remember what year, how many years after.
It was post Sonic 2. So
it was like
92 or 93.
Really, that early? I thought it was way after it came out. But
I mean, technically it was. Genesis came out in 89.
Okay.
Sonic came out in 91.
So we got the Genesis, and then somewhere along the way, we put the NES at our grandmother's house, so we had something to play when we were at our grandmother's house. And we left it there until like 2015 or something. So I remember our uncles would play this game.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's a gun.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me shoot the screen. Because it's easy to.
The concept was easier for them to understand. You got a bright orange handgun to point at the screen and shoot the ducks flying across the screen.
I would just walk right up against the screen.
After a certain point, you learn how to cheat. You just walk right up to it and fire at the screen.
Or shoot a light bulb.
That doesn't work. I've tried
shooting a light bulb?
That does not work. That is a myth.
So the whole concept behind the game is the light. So this came in a package with the NES that had a light gun with it.
Yeah, the NES Zapper.
The NES Zapper, the big light gun. And it had 2 controllers, right? And it came with this game. The light gun worked where it took basically a picture of the screen, or it had a little sensor in it, and it basically took a picture, and the whole screen turned black and white.
Yeah.
And a big white block appeared where the duck was.
Yeah.
So if you were aiming correctly, the zapper would take a picture of the white block and not the black screen.
It would sense the light, hence the term light gun.
Yeah, it would sense the big white block. And if you hit the big white block, you hit the duck, and it would play a little animation. If you missed, it would play a little animation of you missing, and the little dog would laugh at you.
Yeah. And what's amazing to me is the fact that this is a much simpler game than Super Mario Brothers on every level. You know, you can only do 3 things in this game. You can shoot a duck, you can shoot 2 ducks, or you can do skeet shooting. But when you do the duck modes, the fact that they have that little dog with so much character and personality, even though he's one of 3 pictures, it was incredible. And it still to this day fascinates me.
When he laughed at you, even our uncles, they were like, this fucking little dog, this piece of shit guy, and you wanted to do better at the game.
Yeah.
Now, I play this game called Guess the Game every night. It gives you a picture of a game, and it makes you guess what the game is.
Yeah.
And you get 6 tries, and it basically makes it a more obvious picture the more guesses you do. I'm infuriated by it because the first picture was so obviously the clay shooting. So I was like, Duck Hunt, and it's wrong. And then all the other pictures were weird. It turned out it was fucking WarioWare. I was like, no one's gonna know what clay shooting is, but I do. God damn it. Anyway, the light gun. We explained how it works.
Yeah.
It only works like that on CRT TVs.
Right
now, light guns aren't the same as they used to be.
People have tried to make light guns work on modern televisions, and they only work for one game or it's glitchy for other games and stuff.
Hyperkin was making a zapper specifically for LCD TVs.
Yeah.
And did they ever come out with it?
I don't think so. Yeah, I remember when the Wii came out and they were showing off the pointer as like a gun peripheral. People thought this could be the return of Duck Hunt because this is the only game. This is the Duck Hunt on NES is the only game in the series. The most we got was Wii Play, which had like a little Duck Hunt-ish mini game, but it wasn't the same. And Duck Hunt Dog appearing in Smash Brothers years later.
I appreciate that Duck Hunt Dog had Smash Brothers. He's got a lot of character in that game. Hyperkin did make the Hyper Blaster HD for Duck Hunt compatible with NES, and I think what you do is you plug the cartridge in.
Yes.
It takes over where the cartridge.
Yeah.
You plug the game into this cartridge adapter, and then that into the NES, and then it somehow loops through and takes.
But
the data
it only works for Duck Hunt.
Right. It doesn't work with the plethora of other light gun games that nobody's playing. Duck Hunt is the one that.
I mean, there's. What are the ones? Hogan's Alley is the other one. Hogan's Alley and Wild Gunman are the two Nintendo made ones. I know there was like Operation Wolf and like a couple of other light gun games for the NES, but yeah, you're right. Duck Hunt's the only one that matters.
Yeah, Duck Hunt's the only good one. So anyway, this is maybe our most beloved game that we have. This one means the most to us here at the Backlog, and then with that, we are never doing the Backlog again.
Yeah, that's it. Season finale. That's it. Hope you like.
I like this game so much. I've tried to purchase all of the different versions of Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I got a couple of the just Super Mario Brother ones.
Yeah.
Recently, Super Mario Brothers sold for a fuck ton of money for some reason. I just saw Pat the NES Punk did a podcast about the deposition because they're being sued for price fixing the Super Mario Brothers that sold for hundreds.
I think a while ago that was pretty much confirmed to be a scam, and they went quiet about it. Now there's a lawsuit brought about it because people are mad that it was a scam.
Pretty much admitted to price gouging, which is insane. So it never made any sense to sell a game that is this popular. The original Super Mario Brothers has a lot of copies floating around out there. So having that be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I'm glad this game exists. It's we probably wouldn't be here today if we didn't have this NES with this Mario game on it. I
mean, if you think about it, a lot of people wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be sitting in these chairs right now. Like, you guys at home wouldn't be watching us. Other YouTubers and Twitch streamers would not be doing what they would be doing if it wasn't for this game, whether or not they played it.
This game did a lot for Nintendo also.
Yeah, this is hands down the most important game of the 1980s.
Yeah.
I would argue is the most important game of the 20th century.
Yeah. I still need to I was trying to learn how to speedrun it, and you'd be surprised to know it's very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to get back into it. It just, it takes a lot of time to chip away at it. But I got to get my time down. I think my quickest is 8 minutes, which is not quick at all. Or 6. I think I did 6. But that's, the world record's 4 something. So nowhere close to that. Anyway, thanks for watching the Backlog, guys. Go to the playlist, watch some more. Or come to a podcast live like these guys.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Cool kids.
Watch it live. Goodbye.
Bye.
But not you.
Yeah. Don't actually leave. Leave if this was the Backlog clip out, but if you're watching this live on twitch.tv/WULFF/DEN or youtube.com/WULFF DEN podcast, stay.
Please don't leave me. All right, next up, developers concerned over the future of Apple Arcade.
Oh, yes. What'd you do to it?
I just moved it down.
Okay, there it is. I saw this today and felt this is something we need to talk about.
I grabbed my Apple Arcade sometime last week because one of the winners of the it was on the podcast. One of the winners of the DICE Awards.
Yes.
DICE Awards.
Yes.
Was What the Car.
Oh yeah.
And I pulled out my phone, I downloaded it, and I've been playing it. It's awesome.
Oh nice.
I like those games.
Yeah. So keep playing it because a number of developers have expressed uncertainty over the future of Apple Arcade.
Okay, that's sad.
Speaking to mobilegamer.biz, sources voiced concerns about Apple's game subscription service in the wake of the iPhone maker reportedly canceling projects, cutting developer payouts, and turning its back on original games. During the first few years of the service, after the service launched in 2019, it's claimed that upfront payments for Apple Arcade games were high enough that most titles were profitable from day one, but these have since been cut. Bonus per play payments were also originally said to be very generous, but these reportedly started falling in late 2020 and have continued to do so in years since. We're going to see the amount and decrease until it's pennies, one developer said. At that point, putting a game on arcade starts to become much less viable. One source claimed Apple canceled a shitload of projects and pissed off a lot of people as part of a service reboot in 2021. A strategy shift has seen Apple largely stop greenlighting original games for arcade, it's claimed. Instead, it's now almost exclusively commissions family-friendly licensed titles based on popular IP. Some developers who met Apple to discuss putting their games on the service said that they were left confused by Arcade's direction. One reportedly said it had the smell of death around it, while others told the site, I got the sense that they really didn't know where they were going with it at all, almost like they were unsure if they'd have jobs at the end of it. However, another source claimed Apple was considering rebooting the service in the face of Netflix's entry into game subscription space. And others said that they had positive experiences of working with Apple on Arcade, with one saying the service had made premium games viable on mobile.
I'm not surprised. I think this is just an extension of the whole games industry feeling it this year.
Yeah, but at the same time, like Apple is like not, they're like separate from the games. And they're like on a whole nother level.
They theoretically should be because it's different enough, but they're not. The games industry is heavily tied to mobile gaming.
Right.
It's a big, huge part of the games industry that we often forget about.
I think this has more to do with Apple's push towards more AAA experience on Mac OS and bringing that over to the iPhone with Resident Evil 4. And Village being on both Mac and iPhone, Death Stranding coming to Mac.
I don't know about that. I think that those are it's posturing. That's showboating. They've been doing that for years. They just always pick one developer. They say, here's a bunch of money. Put your shit on Mac so we can have it in one keynote a year. You know, and then they do that. These are. It just smells like what the rest of the games industry has been doing for the past year.
See, to me, it's a little different. What I'm trying to say is they're shifting focus away from Apple Arcade, which was a subscriber-based system that focused on mobile-only games or mobile-first games, and moving more towards a traditional AAA gaming experience.
Are you saying that Apple Arcade in the future will include... Are you saying they're trying to homogenize everything like Game Pass?
I'm saying that they're taking resources that would have gone to Apple Arcade and moving it over to a more traditional AAA style of game development to the detriment of Apple Arcade.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how well Apple Arcade did for them. They don't seem to really... I mean, I don't know. I haven't... When they first announced Apple Arcade, they were going nuts for it.
I mean, it was a great premise. They were higher quality games.
I like it.
Yeah.
I still like it.
Yeah, it had great games on it. It had good deals. They were higher quality games. There were no ads on it. There weren't microtransactions.
Pretty much everything I want to play on the phone is on Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear about a cool phone game, it's on Apple Arcade and I just download it.
Yeah, there was a higher tier of game that was available for it. And you could play it on your computer. You could play it on Apple TV. You know, and you had a variety of ways to play them on it. But they were always still just mobile games.
Yeah.
You know? And I think Apple now, the fact that they're all their own silicon and everything is pushing them towards making all their stuff much more powerful, and they want games that showcase that.
I still think it just seems like they're just doing layoffs like the whole rest of the industry is doing.
Just in a different way. They're not paying developers who develop for...
Yeah. It's their own type of layoff because they're not structured like a traditional game company. I don't know what their stance is on those AAA experiences because, again, for years they act like they're interested, but they kind of pussyfoot around it. They don't like go whole hog into the AAA game development. Every
time you think that they're going to, it's always like, it lasts for like a few months and then that ends. I thought, with Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed and Death Stranding and whatnot coming to Mac with the M1 with the M series of chips, that was like Apple's most serious attempt at getting into gaming. And it's been a while since Resident Evil launched on Mac, and I don't think we haven't heard what the next game is or the next game. It's sort of just stopped.
Yeah. Is Resident Evil 7 on Mac?
I think only 4 and 8 are, which is weird.
Wait, which one? What's Village? Village is 8.
8. Yeah.
Okay. I started that on my phone.
Okay.
Can I finish that on my MacBook?
I think you can.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I bought it. I think I just played the demo.
Okay. I have it on Xbox. I should play that next.
It's $40.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why am I surprised? It's a full AAA game.
Mm-hmm.
I also have Resident Evil 4. Just the cloud. It just says download.
Yeah.
So I could just. I guess I probably bought that.
Yeah. Oh, it probably count. It's all your same account. So when you bought it on the phone.
I know, but they have demos.
Yeah.
I guess just to see if it's gonna run good on your device. Maybe I bought Resident Evil 4 and I didn't buy the Village because I just played the demo. Whatever. Now Village I have on PlayStation because they gave me a code and then I forgot about it. And it's VR. That's why they gave me the code because it's VR. Wait, is the VR version? Is it? Do I have both?
I think so. Might want to double check that.
Okay. All right. So I hope Apple Arcade doesn't go away because I like that service. All right, let's talk about the Pokemon Presents. Remember her?
That was today.
I just watched it. Well, when I woke up, I went right to Nintendo Life and saw the breakdown.
And
then I went right to the new game trailer. And then I fucked right off.
Yeah. I just I didn't watch it live. I caught the recap later and it's just like, okay.
I just watched the 12-minute Pokemon Presents just now.
Yeah.
Gotta say, love how it's formatted because it's just like, hello, I'm so-and-so from the Pokemon Company. Here is a better dressed other guy from the Pokemon Company. And then he goes, hey, I'm the better dressed guy from the Pokemon Company. Here are our announcements. And they just say all of the announcements.
Yeah.
And then randomly in the middle of it, the guy shows up again and he goes, hey, here's more. He literally just goes, here's more announcements. And then they cut back to the more announcements.
All right. So here's what you got. New Terror Raid events in Scarlet and Violet starting tomorrow.
Cool.
Today was not only the first Pokemon Presents of the year. Okay.
No.
Okay. Pokemon Horizons, this series collaboration event starts next week in Pokemon Go. Pokemon trading card game goes to mobile.
This is cool.
I'm surprised this wasn't done sooner.
Yeah. I played the Pokemon trading card game, the digital game, a few years ago. And it's fun. It's really good. But I had to play it on iPad, I think. It was not on. You can play it on the computer, I think, but they did not have a mobile version.
Right.
And I felt like it would be way cooler on mobile because then you can take it anywhere with you. So I might actually download this and play this because it's a fun game. And now you can also trade the digital cards that you have with other people, which I think is going to open up a weird market for people.
Oh, 100%.
So yeah, that's the most exciting thing in this whole thing to me is having the trading card game in a mobile format.
Yeah. And last, new Pokemon Legends game is out next year. Pokemon Legends Z to A.
Yeah, so I need to pull up the actual trailer for this.
Yeah.
So
people like Pokemon Legends Arceus? Is
that
the game they wanted?
People like Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is taking place in the region. It's going to say the region in a second. It's the region that is in Pokemon X and Y.
Luminous City.
Luminous City. Cool. I don't know if people like that. I don't know. That's the thing people are into. What's notable about this trailer to me is that there is absolutely no gameplay or in-game footage at all. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing that Pokemon usually does, but to me, it seems like this might be a Switch 2 situation, and they just don't want to tip people off. But at the same time, I don't think anybody's gonna look at this, even if it is a Switch 2 situation. It's probably not going to look good.
No,
because it's the Pokemon company.
Yeah. It says it's coming out next year, so it's very possible it's a Switch 2 thing.
That's another thing. Yeah, at the very end, it says 2025.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking it's a Switch 2 thing. So I don't know. I was not crazy about Arceus.
Right.
Arceus was pretty close to a Pokemon game that I might be interested in.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that I would have liked to have seen different. Maybe they do that with this one.
Maybe.
Because I think it was a closer step in the right direction than some of their previous games, especially Scarlet and Violet was a huge step back after the Legends games. So I don't know. I'll have to see when this comes out. I'll have to see what's so different about it. But I can't imagine them fixing all of my problems with Pokemon with this one game. But I'm glad it's Arceus. I mean, I'm glad it's a Legends game and not
the next
thing. And I'm glad it's 2025.
Yeah,
I think that might actually mean they're taking some time off. That's thank God. And I'm sure they've been working on this for a while.
Right.
But that was the whole Pokemon Presents.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to all the Pokemon YouTubers who have to make months of content with what they just saw.
Based on that.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, we got War Machine with 7 months, thank you, and we got Nintendo with 13 months. The card game Pocket looks like a much more premium experience than the card game Live, the card game client for mobile. Oh, so it is on mobile? Am I having a piss?
I
can just look. I can just pull my phone out.
What did they announce then?
I think it's just a new version of the app. Wait, hold on.
All right. Pokemon trading card game Pocket is what they announced. It will allow you to collect virtual Pokemon cards in addition to battling with your friends. It is a collaboration between the Pokemon Company, the Pokemon trading card creators at Creatures Inc. and DNA.
The current game is Pokemon TCG Live.
Okay.
Which is what he just said.
Yeah.
And it looks like the same thing. So maybe the whole basis of my excitement is wrong.
Yeah, like what's the difference?
People are saying it's really bad.
Okay. All right, so maybe this is them trying again.
Also, the big thing is the game will take place in region based off France. Oh, for the Legends game.
Right.
And since Scarlet and Violet region is based off of Spain, it makes sense it'd come out soon.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now, people are saying the new card game app looks better than the old card game.
Okay.
I didn't even know that there was a... I remember, though, when did that app come out? Because I remember... years ago, when I wanted to play the card game, I wasn't able to do it on my phone for some reason. Or am I thinking of Hearthstone? Hearthstone took a while to come out on the phone for some reason. Card games don't want to be on the phone for some reason. All right. Anyway, we're moving on.
Yes.
Sony testing PlayStation VR 2.
On PC.
Oh, yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, the PlayStation VR 2 headset is designed to work exclusively with a PS5, but the company is now testing out support for PC. While the original PSVR headset got an unofficial support for PC, Sony now says it's working on allowing PSVR 2 owners to connect the headset to a PC gaming rig. We're pleased to share that we are currently testing the ability for PSVR 2 players who access additional games on PC to offer even more game variety in addition to the PSVR 2 titles available on PS5, Sony said in a blog post. We hope to make this support available in 2024, so stay tuned for more updates. Up until now, Sony has been dodging questions about getting the PSVR 2 headset working on PC. We asked Sony about PSVR 2 support on PC a year ago, but the company would only say the PSVR 2 was created for the PS5. When tested on a PC last year, it was picked up as a second screen by Windows, but Steam VR did not recognize the headset. Modders have been trying to get the PSVR 2 working on PC ever since it launched, with IVRY attempting to reverse engineer the hardware. The Verge reached out to Sony to clarify what exactly additional access to additional games on PC means and whether the support will be limited to certain games. Update accordingly.
I hope it's not limited to certain games.
Yeah.
So, people said that this would make the PlayStation VR 2 a lot more worth it. But the PlayStation VR 1 doesn't work well with a PC. There's like some weird shit you have to do to like work. Sony does not let you use it on a PC.
No.
There's some workarounds.
You have to do like third party.
Yeah, it doesn't work right. Or it's extremely difficult to do or something like that. PlayStation VR 2 seems to be worse. So it's very good that Sony is acknowledging it and saying they will fix it in the future.
Yeah. Probably
because they didn't sell any.
Yeah.
And honestly, mine's just been sitting in a closet, and I will break it out when they make it work on the PC.
Yeah.
Because I would much rather use the PlayStation VR on a PC than on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Also, I'd much rather use the PlayStation VR than my Oculus Quest 2 because it's a little better.
Yeah.
It's got better tech in it.
Yeah, no, this makes all the sense in the world to do. I think because, like you said, it's not selling very well, so they have to do something with this very expensive headset that they just put out.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot more worth it as a headset that works with the PC
because they're not the price that they're not supporting it on PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
like the system they designed it for. Like games have pretty much stopped being made for it. Sony doesn't really advertise it that much anymore. They showed it in the State of Play, but it was like 2 games, and it was done really quickly.
The Verge. I gotta figure out how to mute that.
So yeah, this is the only logical step that they could take, and I'm glad they're doing it rather than just shutting down.
I think Sony has, the last couple of newses I've heard from Sony is good news of them being more open to other platforms.
Yeah.
They're sitting at the in previous generations, Sony would sit at the top on their high horse and they'd say, "No, we're not playing nice because we hold the market share."
Yeah.
And now they're sitting on their high horse being like, "We might be able to benefit from."
Well, I think because they're starting to feel the effects of the economy right now. PlayStation 5 sales have slowed. PlayStation VR sales have cratered. They're restructuring how games are developed. They canceled a lot of projects recently. They laid off like an 8% of their whole workforce today. So they need revenue stream coming in. I guess they're feeling that being a walled garden isn't working anymore like it used to. They have to open things up.
Yeah. All right, let's plow through the rest of this.
Right.
We got Suicide Squad. That's not surprising at all. Suicide Squad falls short of expectations.
Yeah, I'll just jump to see if I can find the actual quote. Speaking during the financial call, Warner Brothers Discovery Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Winsfeld admitted,
cool name.
Rockstar's game hadn't done the business the company had hoped for since going on sale February 20th, saying it had fallen short of expectations. Warner Brothers Discovery failed to mention the sales figures for Rocksteady's game, but did say, this game makes me sick. It did say Suicide Squad's failure had set up the company's games business for a tough year-on-year comparison. Last year, Warner Brothers Discovery released Hogwarts Legacy, which went on to become the best-selling game of 2023. This year, Suicide Squad, one of our key video game releases in 2024, has fallen short of our expectations since its release earlier in the quarter, setting our games business up for a rough year-over-year comp in Q1. I think anybody could have told you a mile away that this game wasn't going to be good.
Yeah, we were looking at it up until release, and we were like, something's fucked up with this game.
Yeah, and like it coming out and like proving everybody right that it was just another by the numbers live service game, you know, with, you know, basic mechanics and random item grinding and, you know, swapping out. It's just I feel like this was not the game they wanted to make. This was the game they had to make.
Yeah, someone was making them make this game.
I think that's why the original like Rocksteady founders left to go form their own studio, because they couldn't deal with this anymore.
It's a cool concept because it's different than what you would traditionally think from a DC Comics game, you know? Because you're playing as the villain. That's really the only thing.
The idea of a Suicide Squad game isn't the problem. The idea of a Suicide Squad game as a online-only live service game is the problem.
Yeah, it's a shame that they had to kind of botch it like that, because now they're not gonna, these studios are not gonna let the creatives take risks like that.
Yeah, what's gonna happen is
they're gonna be like, oh, nobody bought it because you're playing as the villains.
Yeah, nobody bought it, so we're gonna shut down. We're gonna lay off half of Rocksteady. And
Batman.
They got one more game to do well. Otherwise, we're gonna shut the whole studio down.
The Batman ones were good. You should make a 5th Batman one.
I heard this rumor online. And I think I believe it. I believe this game was supposed to be a Superman game because it takes place in Metropolis.
Yeah,
and like, you know, the whole thing's outside, so flying around as Superman makes more sense than
it could be a test for a future Superman game. I could see that.
Yeah, but I think at some point it had to become a live service game, so they swapped over to Suicide Squad because Suicide Squad had movies. Superman hasn't had a movie in a long time. That David Zaslav said that there's been no Superman movies since Superman Returns. He said that. He knows what he's doing.
That's not
true in the slightest. But yeah, so something happened where they had to change over to Suicide Squad because that's popular with the kids, you know, and then we got this nonsense.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch all the cutscenes on YouTube.
Yeah, I still haven't done that.
PS3 system software update.
Yeah,
wow.
that's right. An update for the PlayStation 3 was released on February 27th, 2024. Then it tells you how to download the update.
What does it do? You have to literally put it on... Wait.
No, you can either download it or you can download it to a thumb drive and then update it through there.
It doesn't say anything.
Oh, here it goes. This is version 4.9.1. The system software update improves system performance.
Oh, thank God.
It's a stability update.
Thank God. We needed system stability update.
For when did that come out? 2006?
God help us.
Yeah, fuck, 2006.
18 years ago.
God. Oh, they're still supporting it, which is nice.
Lastly, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I only put this here. I wasn't going to put this here, but like I kept seeing it pop up and people were showing me it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade Wrath of the Mutants is announced for PS5, Xbox, PS4, Switch, and PC. Publisher Game Mill Entertainment and developers Raw Thrills and Cradle Games have announced the arcade beat 'em up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of the Mutants for modern systems, available April 23rd for $30. Wrath of the Mutants is a port of the Ninja Turtles arcade game released by Raw Thrills in 2017. Features 4-player local co-op play and television show voice actors Seth Green, Sean Astin, Robert Paulson, and Greg Sipes reprising their roles as the 4 Turtles. In addition to the arcade game's 6 stages and 13 boss fights, the home release adds 3 new stages and 6 new boss fights.
Oh, I remember this arcade game.
Yeah.
This was good.
Yeah. It was cool to see a modern Teenage Mutant Turtles arcade game based on the then current TV show, the 2012 Nickelodeon show, which was an excellent show. So it's interesting that we're actually getting...
It's kind of outdated by now.
Yeah, it's outdated by now, but I mean, we're getting fucking games based on the 87 cartoon. That's even more outdated. Why not this version?
This is great because there's just no reason for them to support this. Yeah. It's just good that they're giving it up.
I am concerned.
It's good for preservation.
Yes, I am concerned, however, and nobody's bringing this up. The publisher is Game Mill, and they were the publisher behind that King Kong game from last year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is a port job,
right?
Come on, they got.
I mean,
They can't fuck that up.
There have been bad port jobs.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do this.
All right.
Tweet of the week.
I think you put one in
I
here.
put one in here.
Okay. Oh, this one requires audio. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we might get demonetized for this because it's The Simpsons.
Would you kids believe your grandpa once argued in front of the Supreme Court?
No, sorry.
Not a chance. I mean, it's true. It was back in 1998.
The tweet says it's from Tanuki Joe.
Oh, I should have read that
Yeah.
first. I mean, nothing made me feel older than when Grandpa Simpson's olden days now being 1990. Oh, God help us.
Would you chance? I mean, it's true. It was back in 1998.
Oh, boy. Oh, Jesus.
That hurts most of all because I still fondly remember back when The Simpsons were good and he would like make up years like, you know, fighting in World War II or, you know, he had to think back to 19-Dickety-2. They had to call it Dickety because the Kaiser took the name for 20 and we've tried to get it back from him, but we lost our breath after the Dickety-6 block.
Oh, God help us.
Yeah.
I put one in just now. It's by Titles in Media, and it's from the new Dune movie, and it's a quote from the Dune movie. It says,
Okay.
Paul, you're not ready to join the Fremen? You need to contribute more. Chani, that's not fair. I'm Dune my part too. Get it?
Yeah. My favorite is what's his name from Office Space is like, I'm excited for Dune 2, man. Dune 2 chicks at the same time.
All right, we're talking to you guys.
Yes.
Real quick.
Let's start with people who left comments on last week's Wolf Den Podcast over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wolf Den Podcast. Woo.
We got Kodo Kestis, who says, I started watching this while waiting in the queue for Helldivers 2. Just finished the podcast. I'm still in the queue.
Did they ever fix that?
No. They fixed it so that now, instead of the loading screen, you get no screen. They claim that they fixed it. I got to be honest, I've never had a problem getting into Helldivers 2. I think once it took a little longer than I expected, but it was still like less than 5 minutes and I was in.
Okay.
Oh, I did have, I take that all back. I was playing a mission with Fried Biscuits, and we were almost done with the mission. It was a hard mission, and the server crashed, kicked us out, and made us restart the mission.
Ouch.
That pissed me off.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I've been fine. I honestly, though, most of the time I'm playing in like the middle of the night. So, 7 says, "Thanks for having the podcast on Tuesdays, so we can have a Nintendo Direct on a Wednesday." No problem.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Elmof says Mario Golf RPG for the Game Boy was the best one.
I've heard that is.
I still haven't played it.
Yeah,
Still haven't played it, but I gotta play it. Moonnom1 says, with all the anti-corporation talk, it sounds like Bob wants to join the workers' revolution. Welcome to the cause, comrade. We do talk a lot about the perils of democracy.
I think because like we're
in the worst.
Yeah,
we're seeing the worst effects of democracy right now.
Not democracy necessarily, capitalism specifically.
Is what I mean. I'm sorry, we were just talking about Helldivers, so I'm saying democracy a lot. We're seeing the worst effects of capitalism right now, just as a whole, but also it's heavily affecting the games industry.
Yeah,
these big corporations who have all of the power is becoming a problem.
Yeah,
who would have thought? Blackbird says they should have saved some money on Spider-Man 2 production by firing whoever made most of the costume designs. 3 out of 4 of the costumes in the game are ugly as fuck. Whenever there's a game with a lot of costumes, they're not all going to be great.
I do think they bring up a good point because like Spider-Man 2, the best alternative costumes in the game are clearly the ones from the comics or the movies.
Yeah.
Because like the ones that are original to the game, like they're your typical video game over designed, like super intricate and detailed, and they just wind up looking terrible.
I think that
I feel especially bad for Miles Morales because he only has like 4 costumes outside of the game normally.
I think that those are situations where you have to take a lot of risks and make things that are really different, and they're mostly going to be bad until or extremely subjective.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for last week.
Yes.
Now we're in the chats plural.
Dark Type with 100 bits. Thoughts on the rumored Mandalorian game in development? We talked about that last week.
We did talk about it last week. Topic last week. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. It's made by the Titanfall team, so
I'm excited for a lot of the Star Wars stuff. I think Star Wars has some decent looking games. That are slated. Even though I haven't played much of Fallen Order at all, I'm very behind. Who would win? Batman versus Wolverine with no prep? I'm gonna say Batman.
Yeah.
Anytime you say Batman versus anybody, it's gonna be Batman.
It's usually Batman. Yeah.
Also, I don't think Wolverine, like, his thing is like what's his tagline? It's like the best.
I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice. Somebody actually, like, I forgot what article it was, but they went through everything that Wolverine is quote unquote the best at and found other superheroes who were better than him at that.
I remember that, and one of them was being a loner, brooding guy.
Yeah.
And Batman's better at
no. It was being a loner, brooding guy, and they said
who isn't actually a loner.
Yeah. And Batman was better.
Batman is even better at being a loner that's not actually a loner.
Yeah.
I think Wolverine's problem is that he can regenerate, so he just doesn't need to win.
Yeah.
He could just come back.
He just keeps coming.
He'll just come back later. So he has no incentive to try too hard. But Batman could actually die.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to do that. So he's gonna try everything he can to not do that.
Yeah. I mean, the Punisher has beaten Wolverine. The Punisher is not very smart. Right. So
Edward really wants to talk to you.
Okay. So, Will, what is your take on deeming around the Pokemon Direct? It was deemed around Gold and Silver and Crystal, leaning into the rumors of Let's Go Gold and Silver remake. But we ended up with Squat and the Direct, and this reminded me of a lot of Quicksilver controversy from the Marvel WandaVision. Felt like the company was just leading us on a wild goose chase.
I have never heard anything about Gold and Silver being hinted at by the Pokemon company.
I think this goes back to what we said last week. People get like hyped up about the Pokemon Directs, thinking like we're gonna get the next mainline versions of the game, and that they're going to announce like all the games coming to Switch Online or whatever. And the Pokemon Presents are always about everything involving Pokemon, not just the games, but the toys, the t-shirts, the mobile apps, other games in the franchise, cartoon, the movie. Like, it encompasses everything about Pokemon, and video games are not, the main thing that Pokemon does anymore.
I think that people just got in their own heads and they wanted Let's Go Gold and Silver. And they were trying to find anything to, validate their own thoughts. Anyway, cool socks, Bob. Thanks, dude. It's cool lemons. Can't see them. I got cool lemons on my socks.
Those are some cool lemons.
Will, what was your favorite arcade to visit as a kid? Favorite cabinet to spend those quarters on?
We had that Nathan's that had all the arcade games growing up. The building is still there, but I don't know what's in there anymore.
I think it's still an arcade. Well, not an arcade. It's like a weird play place thing.
Yeah. So that was the best one.
It was Fun Zone.
It was fun. Yes. Yeah, it was Fun Zone. Fun Zone.
It was Fun Zone, and it had a Nathan's in it.
Yeah. That was the best. It had
a good commercial.
Yeah. It had
I know something fun we could do or something. And they like get sucked into the TV.
Hold on, kids. It had all your classics. It had Street Fighter 2, it had the Mortal Kombat, it had the Star Wars arcade game.
You almost beat the shit out of a kid in there.
I did. That's what you get. That was a good one.
Oh no, I almost beat the shit out of a kid in there.
One of us almost beat
You got pushed by a kid, and then I was like 3. You got pushed by a kid, and then I pushed him back. And I said, don't push my brother. And then, all right, then we got broken up.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway, now all of the arcades.
Yeah.
I used to go to Fun Zone a lot. It was on Route 110. Oh God. Bob, are you modding that GameCube soon? No. Would you do a new shell on it too?
I'm waiting for my new shell to come in. I ordered it 2 years ago.
I'm not doing it anytime soon, but I'm still interested in it. In my, I should just buy the parts and then keep it around, and then when I run out of ideas, I'll do it. This week's video is going to be on the Switch because it's been 7 years, and it's kind of just me ranting about how I don't play my Switch anymore. That's the whole video. I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe. Also, I've been doing a lot of emulator videos, and I'm trying to space it out a little bit.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of Nintendo Switch stuff to talk about. Remember, I used to do only Nintendo Switch stuff, and now there's just nothing to talk about. Anyway. And I gotta stop talking about emulators because eventually I'm gonna get sued by fucking Nintendo. Anyway. I guess that's it. The Switch has become a barren desert. Yeah, what do you did anybody is everybody here on the same page about the Switch? I mean, I know you don't play the Switch anymore. You haven't touched that thing in a while.
Well, no, I played Sonic Superstars on it because I got it for Christmas on Switch.
Oh, right.
So I played that. But outside of that, like, yeah. I should probably turn it off because it's still in sleep mode.
Oh, it's dead.
No, I have it in the dock.
Oh, okay. Do a Switch Lite screen swap? I can't. I think Taki Udon is making those screens and he hasn't released them yet.
What would be the update to it?
OLED.
Okay.
Because everybody just loves OLED.
Yeah.
Bob, when are you gonna just hack your Switch, man? I think it's time the people want it. Now, never, because they're gonna sue me. No, I have the MIG Switch coming to me sometime. I'll do a video on that. Just, I mean, maybe I'll fuck around with hacking the Switch one day again.
Yeah.
Because I did the Android one, and that sucked. But I'm sure it's gotten a lot better now. Anyway. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for chatting with us. As always, the WULFF DEN Podcast is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/WULFF. If you can't make the show for any reason at all, we always put up as an archive version over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WULFF DEN Podcast. So you can go and check us out over there on demand whenever you want. If you prefer to listen to us rather than watch us, you can do that as well, because we're also an audio podcast on any and every podcast service, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, Audible.com apparently. But no matter where you get this show from, folks, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us, because that helps us with placement on all those respective platforms.
I'll hopefully have a video on Thursday. I will also be streaming on Thursday, probably. And that's all I gotta say. Go say hello to AJ. I see you later. Thanks for being here. Appreciate yous. Bye.
Bye.
Yo, how was the podcast?